talk. We can dive into that. Are we going?
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh wait, here.
Are
Let
we
me.
I think so.
Yeah, we're live.
Cool.
Sick.
Cool.
So I just teamed up with AEG this summer, which is a giant. It's kind of the two monsters in North America are Live Nation and AEG. And just like out of happenstance, linked up with this dude. Shout out to JJ at AEG, and they needed support with like street team and promo shit.
Nice.
And I showed him some of my Grateful Web stuff, and we just clicked. And he was like, "Yeah, dude, like, we'll send you out to all these shows. We just need you to, hand out flyers, do promotional, show up here, hand out goods here." So it's been a really cool connection. We're doing some stuff with Grateful Web. Love to do some stuff with Rado.
Yeah.
But they do.
Yeah,
I
guess.
We are in fact playing. We have a collaboration with AEG coming down the pipe. A big headliner.
We'll get you.
Can't be announced yet, but
dude, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be exciting. There will be opportunities.
Well,
to
dude, they've been great, and they've been
true.
sending me all over the damn place. So I've been busy, man. I've seen a lot of great shows this summer, and
any standouts?
Oh, dude, you know what's funny is a lot of the standouts is shit that I made a note this summer to see stuff that I wouldn't normally see, right? Because we've all
That's
seen,
cool. That's cool.
I've
I like
Fish
that.
and
Me too,
Panic and all
yeah.
these bands a million times, and I could sit here and tell you that Panic was awesome because it was, and Fish was great at Folsom, but
Of course it was.
Of course it was,
When
because
is
it
it
always
not?
is. That's
Yeah.
why you go see him a million times. But what stood out to me, a couple that stood out to me, dude, I saw Sheryl Crow at Red Rock.
Oh my
yeah.
god! And you ran into Luce, right?
Yes, we did.
She
I was
texted
sitting
me
right
that.
next to her.
That's
And
great.
that was incredible. It's some of the times where your expectations are low, or you're like, dude, this isn't for me.
Cheryl
Yeah.
delivered.
Cheryl
Well,
delivered.
there's a lot of. I mean, to your point, there's a
Yeah.
lot of musicians outside of the art form we love, of like jam band genre we love, that are like extremely talented, put on a very well curated
Yeah.
show. The presentation, and specifically a lot of jam bands just like light show, but a lot of these other bands have more of a
They put on the
production component.
Right,
Production
exactly.
component.
It's interesting to step. We get so stuck in this like world of ours where it's just like, all right, 25 minutes, stretch it out, get weird. You're like, Sheryl Crow's got a bunch of 3.5-minute bangers, and it's like it's pretty fun. So
You're
I've been
shouting
seeing-
on everyone.
and everybody knows the
Oh, yeah.
words, and so
Yeah.
it's been cool, man. It's been a good experience. Back with the Colorado Symphony was incredible. I hadn't seen one of those symphony shows. I know those are like super popular these days, but just the amount of preparation that goes into something like that.
Didn't Lettuce did one of those, right?
Yeah.
I was there for
Yeah.
that one.
Couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that just the production and amount of preparation that it takes to pull something like that off. And Beck played, fuck man, I knew like 2 songs the whole night. Like it was just
Nice.
like
That's cool.
B-sides and rarities of these like old Beck tunes. And so just really making a stab at trying to like see things that I normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
Cake,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
old
Fucking love Cake.
Cake
dude.
was great, dude.
Cake
They gave
fucking-
away
Nice.
a tree.
Cake at Dylan? Was it at Dylan?
It was Cake at Red Rock. So
Red Rock's
Dylan
nice.
was the night before, but just one of those bands too where it's like, it's just different, It's
Yeah.
just like I get so stuck in my world that it's fun to see these things.
Yeah,
So,
I saw the Flaming Lips a couple years ago, and that just
Lips,
blew-
that's
'cause
another
we were
one, too.
talking about them a second ago, and
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
Forget who that guy is, the main dude in it, but
Wayne.
yeah,
Wayne
so
Cohen.
He jumps
Yeah.
in a ball
I
and he
know.
like goes around the audience. and
It's incredible.
It's crazy.
It's incredible. So
Like, what if Trey did that? It's like
Gnarly
that,
Red
man.
Rocks.
I know. Trey's can
Yeah,
barely handle the
yeah, it would be. Start him at the top, have him roll down.
Yeah.
dude. Whoa.
Yeah, Trey can barely handle the trampolines these days, man. We're gonna have to pull those things
Yeah.
soon.
Well, speaking of Trey, Dead 60. That just
Yeah,
went
did
down.
were you guys tuned into that at
I
all?
checked
Did
out
you
a
do
couple. I checked out a
Dead
couple
60?
things. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
I want the
Looked fun.
yeah.
Sit-ins looked cool.
The sit-ins
Yeah.
were the big deal. I don't think anybody. I think everybody would admit that like it was the openers that people were jazzed about. But obviously, I mean, it's cool to see legends.
Yeah,
Playing with
I like that
legends.
it's you traded that great nod to Jerry too. I thought was
Totally.
really legit.
That was the highlight.
And I was like stoked to watch Trey and John Mayer like have that kind of full circle moment on the Grateful Dead around like Jerry Garcia's birthday, which is cool. Just as a guitar player, like I really respect both of those dudes playing, and it was really cool. John like made this legit post about Trey's playing in terms of his ability to like data transfer on the fretboard, like from like his ear, like he just can hear things so quickly, and he was like blown away by it, and you could hear it in the playing. I thought it was really cool. That sit-in was sick. I've watched it like two or three times.
It was actually really good. And I always wonder when two legends who have never played with each other play together. Like, you heard it when Billy Strings sat in with Fish in Michigan. I think it was last year. And there was like a little bit of nervous energy at the beginning of their playing because it's like nobody wants to step on each other's toes. And it's like, who's going to take the reins?
And if you're the guest, you don't want to come in and just like go to town and
Billy
like,
Strings doesn't give a fuck about that.
He loves Trey is generally a very timid sitter-inner because he's so humble and
he serves
so
the song
deferential.
Well.
Occasionally I'm like, come on, Trey, like they've got you because you're an amazing guitar player.
Yeah, like we want you to take
let it shine a little bit.
Totally.
But I thought the sit-ins at GD60 were
to that
good.
point, John, like in the middle of the sit-in, they were like kind of going back and forth, and like John Mayer like pointed at him. He's like, dude, come on.
Of course. Trey, I was like, no, you.
Do it,
I know you're super collaborational, but you can be the star for a little bit.
Yeah, no, those collaborations were super interesting. And again, I wonder if that's, you got to think that that's not that they won't do more Sphere shows or something like that, but probably the final hurrah in terms of getting everybody together like that on that level.
For sure.
So definitely
cool. Check out, though.
Yeah, definitely cool. What else is going on, guys? It's been a while since we've done this.
Man, we've been busy.
Yeah.
Do you notice we got a new face in the group?
We have a new face in the audience. We have a new face in the audience. Jeremy, what's going on, dude?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Deitz on the beats in the
Deitz
house.
on the beats.
Deitz here.
Yeah,
Thanks everyone.
We should probably talk about the biggest change in the last 4 months since our last
so there's a new drummer in Rado.
Yeah, Benny decided, very understandably and respectfully bowed out and decided like it wasn't fully the lifestyle that he could commit to, commit the time and sacrifice that's necessary, honestly. And so I definitely understood where he's coming from. But, it was sad, and we all loved him. We all loved playing with him. But luckily, the transition was pretty seamless, and
Yeah, Ben was a huge staple of the sound. I mean,
Totally.
it's undeniable. Benny was a big part of Rado. He helped drive a lot of the vision of it and a lot of the, the beats. He was the driver of the band in a lot of ways, and we're, really stoked on what he did with us and where we got to go. But at a certain point, you got to make that decision for yourself, like. Especially, I think he did it out of respect in a way for the band, where it's like, man, I know where you guys want to go. Like, you want to go play Red Rocks, and you want to go have all this success and be on tour. Like, I'm struggling with wanting to get to that point. And, of course, that's a dream of his, but the commitment that it takes to get there is like, you see it all the time, man. Like, it's really hard work out there, and the balance of mental health can creep in, and we want to respect our friend as much as we possibly can, and
Totally.
We're in a great position because Ben built these songs in an awesome way with the group, and I think also he helped us really like figure out the transition process in a way, and that he was really supportive of that, which was great. It was really amicable, which matters a lot, I think, to all of us. So. Man, are we lucky though that Deitz came into the fold.
Amen.
I mean, he's you can talk about it, but we made that post about Benny needing to step down and make that decision, and I know Deitz was like, man, like let's fucking go. I'm ready.
I saw it like 15 minutes after it was posted.
It was very quick. It was
I was like,
immediate.
okay, just wait just a minute.
Don't text him.
So you were chomping at the bit.
I was literally chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys giving me the keys to the mothership, let me take it for the test drive, and for the first couple shows it's been going great, and yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, we threw him into the fire too, dude. We were like, so we can like how we joined the band. We kind of set this whole audition process in motion, and Deitz was the first person that we had come audition with us, and he also checked out a show of ours. Came to the show, so he was just checking a lot of the boxes for us. Where it's like, man, he's reached out to us a couple times. He's like coming to one of our shows, comes and plays with us at James's house, and it was similar to we've talked about how James joined the band, where it was like kind of like love it first note sort of vibe. Like we did this 25-minute jam, man, and I made an intent to just throw every change of Rado kind of like style of jamming at him. We did funk, we did unts, we did this like visceral, like very like down tempo kind of like like very vibey groove, and it was just like Deitz hit every single change, and we're like, all right, man, what do we do now?
You're like, the first guy was our guy.
Yeah. You're in the band.
Yeah.
Same as we said to James, like, welcome.
Yeah.
We're like, it would be irresponsible to say this is a done deal, but
well, that's awesome, dude. So you guys, you kind of, there wasn't a relationship before. It was more once that audition came, you were like, hey, I'm going to introduce myself to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a band called Chompers when I first moved here, probably 7 years ago, pre-COVID. I knew Kevin from that. I knew Rado from the pool we were all swimming in. And, it just stuck out to me. Chompers, disbanded during COVID. And it just stuck out to me that these guys really stuck through it, and their commitment and where they've come since I remember seeing them when I first moved to Colorado. So, I just was impressed by all of that. And
dude.
Hungry to play.
Absolutely. And you have a fascinating background. Again, I just met you a little bit ago, but I did kind of a deep dive on you, and it seems like you're pretty plugged in, man, and you have like a really fascinating kind of journey as to how you got here. So I know the Lettuce background, but for the listeners who maybe don't know as much about it, can you tell us a little bit about like what you were doing before Rado and how you tied into the Lettuce crew and what some of your like roles and responsibilities were in that world?
Yeah, sure. I think it started all with my father being a drummer.
Okay,
second generation drummer. He was a Catskill Borscht Belt hotel band leader for 50 years.
Dope.
I just learned that.
New York City union musician. You go to Roseland Ballroom for the union meetings, and so he grew up. I was his drum tech at like 3 years old, and naturally always wanted to do something else: guitar, saxophone, and all these other things. Till when I was 16, and I was experimenting with Fish and the Dead and some other things. It just I sat down at the Kit one day after a Fish show, and I was playing to the changes, and people were coming in going, oh, I thought that was your dad playing. What's going on here? You play the drums? What's going on? So it just naturally just happened around 16, kind of late for what I wanted it or what I thought it could be compared to my peers. And we just became best friends from there, my dad and I. And, he was one of my favorite drummers, and we had a really great relationship through music. He'd come play with my bands. I would go to play with his bands. We'd go to festivals together. He grew up on the Woodstock, or I grew up on the Woodstock site. He lived in Max Yasgur's house in Bethel, New York. Wow. So I was like kind of raised a little hippie, little hood, I was in Westchester, and I was also in Bethel, splitting times with my parents. So that's kind of my background there. And then after college, there's tons of influences and so many things in the middle. But really, I think what started the whole journey was when I lived in San Diego. I became really good friends with the bass player from Parliament-Funkadelic. His name's Lige Curry. And I just sought him out, and I knew he was in town, and I just rolled the fattest doob I could, so I knew that we'd have a nice long conversation.
That's smart,
make it burn slow if you're trying to talk to someone. And so I thought he was gonna say, he said, I wanted to hear you play, and so I thought he'd give me critique, this is what you could do better. And when he heard me play, he's like, let's start a project. And, so that kind of brought me into the P-Funk world. And since then, I've teched for them, I've subbed for their stage manager, but that was my OG opening to the funk and where my heart is.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Literally.
How old are you at this? Are you like a teenager, early 20s?
No, this is my 20s. Yeah.
20s.
This
So
is
you're
my
hanging
20s.
out with like George Clinton and his crew in like your early 20s.
Yeah, I mean George, I was brought into that, and
Yeah.
Lige was my uncle
Sure.
basically.
Yeah.
You know, he said I reminded him a lot of me. You know what I'm trying to say?
We got you.
Yeah,
We got you.
But,
What
yeah,
was that project called, Deitz?
Lige-delic,
Elijah.
like Funkadelic, but Lige.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we did a couple shows, and we still get together, and I miss those guys. But when I moved to Colorado, word spread that this guy's in town, he's with P-Funk, so it just helped me network and have a little funk voucher for being new to town. And I eventually met Adam, which I'd met through the years. I've been seeing him play forever since I was 16. We saw him at Modern Drummer Festival with my dad. My dad and I went.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his foot in the door of everything.
Yeah, and so I was in my most inspirational time of starting to play the drums. He was my favorite drummer. So, fast forward 10 years or 15 years, he needs a tech. I'm in town. We get along. We see each other out and about. He doesn't drive. I drive. And I was doing some media at the time called Deitz on Beats Media, doing some drum cams because I just couldn't afford to keep going to shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to find a way to work with the show and offering drummers, who love watching themselves, some video. That's a great thing for everyone.
Nice.
For me to watch back, for him to watch back, for the world to see. So that started our relationship, and it was the start of COVID, so there was mini shows going on, so it was a really good beginning of getting to know each other and slowly working together and seeing how that works as his tech. And then it just so happened that Lettuce needed a crew member coming back from COVID, and I knew that my job was going to leave, and if I didn't work with Lettuce, then I probably wouldn't be working with Adam too much. And he just said, show up. Wedding crashed the gig, and I showed up at 8. I talked to the crew, just showed them my eagerness, and
Wedding crashed the gig.
Yeah.
So you weren't even on the sheet of
No,
employees?
not at all. Not at all.
You're like,
I was,
dude,
I was
I'm
just
Deitz.
This
Here to
guy
fucking
knows
do
how
the
to make
beats.
moves. This is what I'm gathering.
That's that.
He goes to San
He's
Diego.
a little hippie. He's
Playing
a
with his
little
favorite
hood, dude.
bassist.
Yeah.
Comes out here. He's playing with Deitz. We need a drummer.
That
He's in our
is-
basement
I
ripping
know,
it.
I know. It's legendary. That's cool, man.
Dude.
Yeah, so it all happened super naturally. It kind of just felt like Almost Famous, which is
Oh, that's dope.
Wow.
kind of where all this started was Ocean Beach, which is where the kids started from in the movie, and it's just like so many similarities to that, and just where your passion can take you when you just want to go out. You don't have an intention or a goal, or maybe you do, you're manifesting, but you're just out there and you're trying to network and be tasteful and meet new people and meet your idols. It all just worked out for me for that. I've been working for them for a little over 4 years, about 500 Lettuce shows. And I'm their stage manager. I started as their tech because, you kind of have to add roles, not just being Deitz's drum tech. I was everyone's tech on the stage. And before that, I didn't know how to change a guitar string. So they took me in just completely green as a full stage tech, but enough to know the ins and outs of the drum world, so it really helped them with that. And then they taught me the rest, and really I'm just so thankful. I've been to Lettuce University, I have a degree in tech in the stage now from them. So I'm just here we are now. And also I've been playing less. I still get to play my own shows, or in the last few years I've been playing my own shows and stuff, but I really have been looking for a band that had a good start, something that just had followers and fans and good music and good people. And it just so happened when I saw that post, I was just like, there it is.
Yeah, man.
I need
The
to
calling.
follow up on this as best as I can.
And we were we were so sold on Deitz's passion too, which is really, that's what you're looking for in this game, because that's what it comes down to, man. You gotta love what you're doing from a musical perspective, and that's all driven by passion, and that's connecting the music to the people, and it's like this dude needs to be drumming. Like that's what it comes down to. He's got to be in a band because he's fucking awesome. You know, the world's got to get moved by this guy. You know, yeah. So we're in a great position, man, and the fact that he is like a tour veteran, like we can learn from him, which is cool too.
Right.
You
The
know?
experience that you bring has got to be paramount to, you know, you have experience, you have, like you said, not only behind the kit, but as from a production standpoint, I mean, that goes a long ways, right?
Yeah. It's huge, dude.
Yeah.
Just understanding how like a professional tour operates is really that's really really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm intrigued by that. So like I really want
Totally.
and we can
So-
talk about that even more at some point.
I mean,
but,
my
like,
question to you would be like, let's say Lettuce is playing tonight at Red Rocks. What does a day in the life look like for you? Like if Lettuce has a huge show tonight, what are you like prioritizing? What is your roles? What does that like look
I'm mainly
like?
trying to advance properly before the show. You know, making sure the back line's correct and everything's as close to possible. With it being, let's say it's Red Rocks, we're close to home. Are we going to use some house gear? Are we going to use some stuff that we have here? Or,
Yeah.
But, you know, making sure we have the proper gear on stage, getting there for load in, making sure the stage plot is correct and that everyone's eyesight, you know, sight lines are great.
Yeah.
Every stage is different. So,
Right.
you know, just the littlest bit of difference in width and depth, and if there's an opener, or if we're headlining, or if there's an orchestra, or it all kind of changes day to day. So we're kind of improv, a little bit of improv, and a lot of, you know, consistency as much as possible, making sure everything's correct the day of, and we all have the same notes as the house crew, and and just getting to work and tuning up the drums and making sure everyone's pedals are.
I was gonna say
clean
you've got to be like a bit of a gear and tech nerd, right? Like, do you know everybody's set up, like how every all the pedals are set? Like, do you have it down to a science, or is that fair
Yes,
to
I
say?
do now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely do
learn
now.
it.
Like I said, you know, I came in green, and these guys taught me everything.
it's cool they were open to that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good vibes, you know, putting out
Excellent.
radiating those good vibes. You just get brought in.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's a similar thing where it's like we haven't vetted that you have everything or whatever, but you have the personality and the you know, like you were saying, the passion that we know the rest will work itself out, kind of thing.
Yeah, they say like 80-20 hang versus technical skills, you know, because there's a lot of people out there on the road that you just can't live on a bus with, and that are, you know, maybe not the easiest to be around. It's not an easy life being out there and away from your, you know, your home life and stuff. And so these guys have been doing it for 30 years, and they're not playing any games, and they want to make sure that, you know, you're a decent hang at least, and you have skills, and you're looking to learn more. So that's kind of where that comes in, whether you're bringing someone new into a band or as a production person. They got to be a good hang.
The hang's so important.
Yeah.
It's because it impacts, especially with the band element, like it impacts the music. You know, like you can be just as technical as all get out, but if it's like, all right, we'll see you later. Good to talk to you.
Well,
it's just like, how can we go to the depths of reality?
yeah. It's especially prevalent in jam music, right? Jam music's a lot of like throwing our musical personalities out there
There's
together and having a
interpersonal communication
conversation.
skills, and you're 100% right. You can the vibes and the energy of the band is reflected in the music, whether subconsciously or consciously, like that is taking place.
Kevin, as the bass player, what are you thinking about syncing up with Deitz in the rhythm section?
Oh, it's easy, dude. Yeah,
makes it easy.
Don't have to think about it too much. But yeah, I was locked in right away on that first one. I was feeling good. Went right into some funk, and I was like, all right, this is good.
Yeah, and I guess that was the biggest throw-in into the fire for real was after we had that first jam and we decided we're gonna rock together. We were like, dude, we're also playing this show at the Armadillo
Very
Ranch,
soon.
and it's 4 hours of music. Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
It's in
with us?
2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's in 2 weeks.
That's a tall task. Yeah.
And I mean, count it. It was 15 songs, 16 songs learned for that night specifically, and Deitz learned them in 2 weeks. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're just like a machine in the studio.
Nailing all these transitions, just like second time I've ever played it.
Yeah,
1 week later,
cool.
it's like we played it last week, and then we did 20 other things, and a week later we're playing it the second time, and like catching every little nuance of it.
Well, I appreciate you mentioned that, guys. But just advice for anyone out there is, don't show up to practice. Don't show up to rehearsal to practice.
Yes.
Make sure you practice your parts before you get to rehearsal. Make sure you are putting in all the effort. If you want to be in a new band, you want to make these guys, you want to get them feeling good about the thing, then, make sure you put the time and effort in before rehearsal. It's super important, just so you can go in there and nail it, have a good time, and like move on. You don't want to have to be going over parts and songs multiple times. It's just not where you're supposed to be doing that.
Professional. You hear that? Spoken like a true professional. I love that. It's dang right, man. I mean, it was a second time play on all the songs, basically. It's like, sure, there's parts we can improve on, but it was like the transition was like, boom, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate that because I've played T for 2 in the basement for a long fucking time. You know what I mean? So it's fun. It's cool that it was still really captivating, even though there's like no audience there, and we have played T for 2 in the basement for a long fucking time. Like having some new energy in the room really helped bring new life into the songs, and I think it's shown in kind of the new movement of the band.
Yeah, I think with especially the last couple shows, but as you've mentioned in the last couple months, I feel like there's been a lot of added intricacies to how Rado performs on stage, whether it be new toys, new technology, obviously a new drummer, but it does feel like there's a lot of new life being breathed into these songs.
Yeah, I think it all started back in October when Kevin got this Future Impact pedal. It really
One
did.
pedal.
I think it. No,
The
dude.
future was then.
The future was then.
The future
it
was
was
now.
now. It is also in the future as well.
It says on the box, the future is now.
Yeah,
so
that's the slogan.
Yeah.
We've made
They
100 different
they
variations
kept
of the
saying
joke.
that to me before
Wait,
I got the
did it
pedal. I
say
had
that
no
on
clue
the
what they were
box?
talking about. They kept.
I thought we just
It was
made
like a
that.
catchphase to me. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
On the birthday card.
But so okay, well, what was so special about that pedal?
Well, it's just-
What
It's a
changed?
pretty crazy bass synth pedal. It's got a lot of different sounds. You can go in and edit the sounds with MIDI and stuff, and so it's really opened up the sound and got into like Brownie definitely has one. I think he's 2,
Yeah.
and so opened up a lot of new sounds with the bass.
And that really launched us into this like really more futuristic Tronica
Yeah,
setup. And so that was like the first toy. Then we threw in the Chaos pad.
Yeah.
And then the looper came in. But Deitz now has in his, drum rig setup an SPD pad is what it's called.
Yeah,
right?
the SPDSX.
Yeah.
There's a couple
Yeah.
of them, but that's the SPDSX.
So for listeners at home who have no clue what any of this means, like what advantages does that bring to like a live element?
It's a drum set in a pad. You'll see a little black box off to the side of someone's hi-hat, and that's a SPD. Roland makes it, and it's got a brain of sounds that comes with it, and you can also sample with it. So what I use it for is a lot of 808s, a lot of change-ups when we're going into the unts, and you want to move from the acoustic kit to an electronic kit. I've got a bass drum trigger, so I could change the bass drum completely, and you could get really deep with it. I'm probably just scratching the surface. I get a lot of Cheech and Chong samples. I'll watch a movie, and I'll just be like, that's going in the show.
You watch other movies than Cheech and Chong, dude? Yeah. I did not know that. Oh, that's great.
That's great.
So the SPD pad is in the mix now,
Yeah.
and then which he's triggering samples and loops from that. But then I've also put in a lot of time into my own loop and sample like setup. I mean, it's a lot for me is inspired by like some of the Tractor Beam stuff that has really progressed in a cool way. And like I know Barber's triggering loops in that band now, which is really cool. But I think for me the biggest like focus and intention behind wanting to do that was just as we've progressed and moved into a new sound with Deitz and, you know, had Ben leave the band, I couldn't like sit idle, right? Like
Sure.
I couldn't have it just be like, all right, we're going to figure it out. We're going to, you know, get a new drummer in. It's going to be great. And that's going to be awesome. Like if we're going to get a new drummer in and it's going to be great, like the music needs to progress like in a really cool new way. And that's not just on, you know, Deitz to bring it to the band. I think like for me mentally, like to be mentally okay with all the things that were changing, I like needed to dive in deeply into some of this sample stuff for myself. And man, has it been so fun, especially when we get to cue them together, sick. Dude. And James is in the mix too, because obviously he's the keyboard guy. We're all just kind of trying to be like, Jimmy, let's be real. get those cool
watch
sounds
out.
going.
I'm gonna get a guitar pad.
Dude, only if you play it upside down.
And are you more or less just fucking around until something works, or is there an element of like, what? Obviously you can watch YouTube and what have you, but I would assume for the most part you are playing around until you find what works and what doesn't, and then incorporating what works and leaving the rest.
Yeah, the technology has just come so far with this stuff, man, that like, I mean, it's not hard. Like all we're doing is for some of these samples is just like ripping a couple of things from various websites and plugging them in.
Does the sample, like, do you ever worry about the sample lining up with like beats per minute, or does that not fucking matter?
So no, I'm working on that, but it is cool because there's ways to work around that where if I'm doing something that is very rhythmic based and there's like, you know, say like 12 bars of it and it's very like a choppy line and somebody's like saying words or something, then it can be a little challenging. But if you throw a lot of like delays and effects on these things, it just sounds like really big and it doesn't necessarily need to line up specifically to the BPM. Now, I do want to get to a point where I am able to trigger. I was trying it at practice the other day, and I was like, "Oh man!" I listened back to it. I was like, "That don't line up. We gonna need to work on that." But yeah. But you're able to work around it. And my favorite ones that I've been cueing are these like kind of like female vocal ad libs that are like really big sounding, and they're just like ooh. It sounds so much better. Gosh, I'm glad I'm not sampling myself.
I like to call that
actually me.
I call that the Denver special.
Yeah. But they work with the music in a really cool way where the BPM doesn't really matter as much as it's just being this really big vocal kind of like swell more so than anything.
Right.
As long as I started on the one, it usually is pretty okay.
That's what
I mean, Kevin's mixed the shows, have they? But
it's fascinating with how, again, how many times the biscuits come up in this podcast, but the amount of sampling and looping that is going on, especially like you said during a tractor beam, and it hits most of the time. Like, most of the time, it's lined up pretty in sync, and there's probably some technology behind that allows it to.
They're using more tech.
Yes. Okay. My thought is either A, they're getting extremely lucky because when it all culminates and hits perfectly, I'm like, either they're really fucking good at this or there is a technology behind this that is allowing it to sync in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, basically either, and, you know, I'll let Deitz speak to this too in case I'm out of depth here, but as far as there's basically two options, which is you have a click that's set to a BPM, and they can turn that on and off, right? They go into a jam, and maybe like during that jam, Alan turns on the click, gets it to that 130, and then, you know, they can sync up that way. Or there's something that's a little bit more organic that is taking whatever tempo he's playing and sending that signal out as MIDI to other people so that no matter if he's speeds up or slows down, everything stays in sync with that because it knows how to, it's just like clocked off as like kick drum or something.
They're all in the same, they're all in the same exact clock.
I was listening to a Biscuits jam the other day where I think it was the Houston show from last year where they're sampling So Fresh and So Clean, and then Alan you know, begins to build, and like then there's like this big like riser, and it all culminates in this perfect crescendo, and you can hear the crowd just explode when it drops into the So Fresh and So Clean lyrics, and I'm like, man, like to time that the way they did, and they don't always hit it. You know, they'll miss them, but
yeah, they're on another level of
Yeah,
clocking.
we're pushing the limits of what you can do without some
Clock.
kind of
the
technology
manual,
like that.
the manual way.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
connecting everybody's instrument by a one clock. Like let's say
Yeah.
it's the Roland SPD. We keep that tempo sending out to everybody else. So if someone's playing an arpeggio or something, that's lining up to the
Always,
BPM
yeah.
that machine's sending out. So there's that. There's also, I know Dopapod used to do this, but there's ways to, just by how you're playing, it's reading your tempo as a drummer.
My
So-
machine does that, which
Yeah.
is cool. Which is really cool. Like I'm able to clock. Like if I'm playing along to you and I am like, if I start a loop, like it immediately goes to what you're playing at. And what's really cool is why it works manually. Excuse me. Right now, anyways. Is because, dude, I was like, I clocked the practices and I've been like looking at some things and like should figure out how I can sample things more. Deitz stays at the same tempo. Robot tempo. It's like legitimate. Like it's so cool though. Like I mean, he is like rocking an internal click. Like legit. You know, a lot of drummers struggle with that where it's like, you know, they play some parts at 135 and then they're like. At another part where it's like 145 and then they're back to 130 and then they're at 132 and 133 and 134. Deitz
The
stays
Russian
at,
dragon.
He stays at 135, dude. Like it's really cool. So it does make the manual version of this work. And I don't know if we would ever, maybe we push it to the, and you know, having a click that we're on, like it's good to know what tempo we're at as a group. I can agree with that, but I don't. You know, having it be organic like this does feel cool.
Yeah, every time, same thing every time. To me, 20 years down the line seems maybe like that won't be so fresh to me. So I want to have songs where we play them slower some night and super fast. We get them doing it's a whole new world.
Yeah, into that.
Amen.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the consistency of at least playing to a click, being able to play to a click. Sometimes we'll throw the click on. I like to call it jazz click if I'm using a click while we're playing. It's just something I'm able to hear. And, you know, it's something I learned from Deitz as well. But just having a click next to you that you could tap on or turn on, turn up, turn down, turn off. But it kind of just sets up a foundation for something if you're really trying to change. Because that is one of the harder parts is, for me at least as a drummer, is speeding up a song purposefully to a much faster tempo, you know, and not getting back to that old tempo. There's just something that I'm so locked on to the original tempo that it really helps when that clicks there.
Yeah, it's almost the opposite problem sometimes, right? It's like sometimes it's good to be extremely consistent. Sometimes it's like it is good to let the energy pull you a little bit. So.
Yeah, and I think fans appreciate that too. I know certainly listening back to old Dead and Fish, you know, I get excited when something's a different. It's minuscule, but
we're human.
You know, like this music never stopped is like
peppy.
is up tempo and they're firing tonight and who knows what they did before the show, but you know, it's like. I get enjoyment out of like, or you know, when they play slow llama. You know, it's like, oh shit, we're gonna slow this one way down.
Yep.
It's a dynamic, you know. It's all about dynamics in music, and whether it's quiet and soft, or breaking it down, or speeding it up, slowing it down. It's all about the dynamics for me, especially.
Yeah, keeps it fresh. So how does that? So we talked about the new toys, kind of the new technology. How does that translate to songwriting going forward? How are you? Is there?
Wow. This wasn't on
You
the
were
sheet.
ready for that, man. Well, let's just talk songwriting in general, man.
Something we're really excited to do. That you know, like they said, I've been rehearsing these songs for these shows a lot, and so that's kind of where my capacity has been at. But I'm really excited to start learning.
Yeah,
you know,
some new tunes.
We're still probably in the getting the whole catalog down before we move the train forward.
But it's good, like, but it's also like you want. I think you want to do that in phases, because like I think we all want Deitz's opinions on some like not just like, you know, hey, maybe if we switch this up, but more of a like, let's build a song together. Like that's a very good bonding moment for any collaboration, I think, is to work from something, you know, to build something out of nothing is like a really cool
there's some vulnerability there. There's some, you really have to, I think, respect each other's opinion, but also, you know, let everybody talk and breathe. And I can only imagine that that's a pretty vulnerable space for a musician.
I've been writing a lot, though, man.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah. I got, like, I think there's, like, 12 new songs in the new song channel or something like that. Yeah. Again, it comes down to this inability in myself to be kind of idle.
Stagnant,
I don't like that feeling. Like, I always feel like there's something more I could be doing to like help the band progress. And I get so much enjoyment out of songwriting where it's like, and I also get a lot of like, relief from it. So, Ben or moving on from the band was a little challenging for me. So it's like, what's a better way to like work through some of that than like pour some into some music and really be not like writing songs about that, but be motivated by the opportunity to change and progress and focus on growth. Because that's what this is all about, man. We're constantly growing and evolving. So as the band does that, or if the band doesn't get the opportunity to do that, that like freaks me out. It's like almost my biggest fear or something. So I gotta triple down on that time when we're just kind of chilling.
Yeah, and it was similar with Ben, where it's like you don't just want to spend the entire first 6 months learning all the way back the whole back catalog.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants something fresh, especially us who have been doing a lot of it. So it's like you have a balance. You learn the staples. We're still, as we talked about, like so early. It's only been like a matter of weeks. So we're not to the stage where we're really thinking about anything else yet, except for the next show and making sure we have the songs down for that. But I have a feeling we'll have some new stuff before we finish, learning every song in the back catalog.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And
go listen to the Dillo show. There's new tunes in there. We have fire jams really just coming out.
Yeah, we did bust out one for the Dillo show that we hadn't played in 2 years because Deitz was is in the band now, which is really cool.
Yeah, I tuned into part of the live stream. I told Dylan this.
Oh,
but,
at Goosetown.
We played it there I tuned
too,
into just a random part of the live stream, and Dylan is just fucking freestyling up there, just spitting bars. I was like, where did this come from, man?
Dude, just wait. That song's about to have a great new iteration.
All right.
We're having a lot of fun.
Okay.
On beats.
You a hip hop guy? You like
I'm a big hip hop guy.
Big hip hop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm East Coast. Like I said, New York. I just did an instrumental Wu-Tang tribute at Yacht Club last weekend.
Well, we could do a whole separate pod on this because I want to pick your brain on that shit, dude.
Just you guys wait. I like to bring my influences where I go, and P-Funk and Wu-Tang and just groove and.
Yeah, we already did a P-Funk song.
Yeah,
P-Funk cover.
Oh yeah,
Lettuce and Jizza just did that. It was over the Fish weekend, right?
Yep.
Lettuce and Jizza did that.
RZA
tribute.
came through. Raekwon was there. Then I went to Fish the next night. I'm wearing my ODB shoes, and I'm just hanging out, having a good time at Fish. I like to at least go to one Fish show a year. So I was there, and then all of a sudden, Trey's like, "Happy birthday, RZA!" or Fishman's "Happy birthday, RZA! Wu-Tang forever!"
Yeah.
I'm like, did everyone just hear that?
I know.
I'm having the biggest Wu-Tang weekend of my life.
Yeah.
And I just went to
Fish
to like not get away from it, but I thought I was, not in the depths of it. And all of a sudden, RZA's there, and it's following around. So I had that light bulb. I was like, okay, this next week when I play Yacht Club, it has to be a Wu-Tang tribute.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's what inspired it?
So then they went into Wilson,
Nice.
and I'm like, Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's fucking
Trey
awesome,
teased happy birthday in the middle. I think it
Yeah,
was
he was
Wilson.
there. They were all there the
Yeah,
night
he was
after
up
the
there.
Lettuce show and the night after their Fiddler's show, and they went through. It was RZA's birthday, and then he had to take off for his party downtown. So there wasn't that sit-in, but they made sure to make a note that he was there.
I was
that's
going to
cool.
ask if the sit-in ever got close to happening.
It probably did, but hip hop and jam, I think they're on two. They have
Jay-Z sat in.
Yeah, that's right.
If
That was
we
my
learned
18th
anything
birthday.
from the
Were you at that?
2004
Yeah, I was at
Jay-Z
that.
Yes,
sit-in.
my dad was at that show,
Yeah,
dude.
that was my 18th birthday.
Bro,
That's
the interview
sick.
of, I don't know if you've ever seen the YouTube video of them hanging out backstage.
Oh, yeah.
It is painfully awkward.
Yeah. It's so true.
Paige is just sitting there just like, hey. It's just like, oh, God.
But what is cool is all of us in this band really love hip hop too. So to get Deitz back in here, because I got a couple tunes. Like City Lights has a really cool rap break on it.
Yeah.
Eye in the Sky does, and so to just have that metamorphosis with Deitz coming into the band and being able to touch on that a little bit more is really intriguing to me from like a songwriting perspective.
I mean, jam bands are my first love, but I'm like a giant hip hop head as well.
Dude.
I love
Little hippie, little hood. Let's go.
I love that, dude. That is like the most appropriate description of you ever, dude, from what I've learned about you so far, for sure.
That's cool. That's some cool insight as to the Wu-Tang stuff. I love hearing shit like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was epic.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, cool. So what else we got? I mean, dude, this weekend is big, right? You got Beanstalk this weekend.
Beanstalk, let's go.
Yes.
Dog, baby.
Yeah.
It's definitely extra special. Just I'll speak for myself. I'm sure we probably all feel the same way. But like, you know, I've lived in Colorado for 9 years. Been a huge fan of jam music and the music scene, and been playing music here for 7 years. And so obviously Beanstalk was kind of like the holy grail, or just like, you know, the preeminent festival to be involved with if you're a musician in Colorado.
Yeah.
It's on the more local side, you know.
One of our last great festivals in Colorado.
Totally. And the Beans have done so much to help the local, I mean, nationally too, but like they've helped build the local jam scene here for over 10 years now. I mean, they're staples, man.
It's how you do it right. You know, you see so many small festivals like this kind of implode after year 2 or 3. Sure. And I would love to pick Scott's brain on that. Like, how did he? Mm-hmm. How did him and I think the other dude's name is Ryan, right? Put this together and have it grow to be so, like, operationally efficient. Like, it really is. Like, they've got it to a science, and they're not trying to grow it beyond the 1,000, 1,500 people or whatever that it is, and it's just so it's like the homie fest, which I think makes a really cool hang. You
made a great point too. Like, throwing a festival, the average person does not understand like the logistics behind throwing a fucking
much money,
festival.
dude.
And the risk that you're taking year after year. I just watched this documentary on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it, but the kid who makes this Area 51 meme that they're gonna storm Area 51, and then he decides to like make a festival out of it because he's like, well, I got all these people, and dude, you're sitting there watching this documentary and you're like, this kid is fucked. Like, I knew you from the and he's like, well, he's like, I hired a DJ, I got some speakers, I figured we're good. And I was like, what do you do if somebody gets bitten by a rattlesnake? You're out in the desert. Like, have you thought about water, like bathroom, like? So it's just funny, like, people don't understand how much planning and preparation, and to have the consistency that the Beans have had, and to continue to support local acts and bring people with them on this journey, local and national, is fucking awesome to watch.
Yeah, we feel lucky. Feel lucky to be included in it, and have you been to it?
I've never been.
None of us have ever been. Yeah,
I've always wanted to go, and I'm honored to be able to play with you guys for the first time. The lineup is just such a great up and coming. There's so many great up and comings, Space Bacon and Squeaky Feet, and just all the
Swerve
homies
Boys.
bands. We're playing right before the special.
Play special.
Yes.
So
Dogs.
it's definitely
Dogs, Disco, Photon, dude. Those guys are sick too.
Yeah.
I just saw their first show.
Disco,
they're
shout
fantastic.
Yeah, so a huge honor to be included in this, and especially to really stamp the arrival of Deitz in the band.
Yeah, what a cool introduction.
Yeah,
this is how we wanted to kick it off, I think, with the new drummer. We, like I said, threw Deitz into the fire because we wanted to play some shows with him so bad and get the groove going, but launching the new drummer at Beanstalk was really always the plan, just because it is so iconic.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, so that's this weekend. What else is on the docket, boys? What else? What does the rest of the summer and 2025 look like for you guys?
Couple big shows.
You can, you know.
it's nice that it's mostly heavy hitter big shows right now. Honestly,
Sick.
At the end of the month, we're playing at Levitt Pavilion with Big Something
Right, yeah.
on August 30th. Saturday,
for
free
that.
show. Come out to Levitt Pavilion. Hugely excited about that. And then only a couple days later, we have the Disco Biscuits after party in Buena Vista.
You guys excited for that?
At the Lariat.
Just a little bit?
Extremely excited. Yeah, I mean, feels like a great opportunity to showcase, our sound to some people who might be predisposed.
I think
to
this
really
has been
liking
a
it.
long time coming here for Rado fans and Disco Biscuits fans alike. As somebody who spends entirely too much time on the internet, I see a lot of people. I've seen your name brought. People be like, "Who are these guys? Who are these guys?" Biscuits fans wondering about you guys. I think it's a pretty great opportunity to showcase kind of what you can do, and obviously you guys are kind of cut from the same cloth musically and stylistically, so I think it's a huge opportunity, and people are pumped, man. People are pumped.
Man, it is a full circle moment.
We're pumped.
For sure.
Yeah.
We love those guys, man. I
Yeah.
don't know them. Love
I
them,
know.
though, for sure. Love their music. That's for damn sure. And
Definitely grew up going to a lot of Starland Ballroom. Sammy,
Yeah.
my boy,
Yep,
Sammy
those are the big shit.
Yeah.
signed off on my I had a scholarship I was applying for a drum camp, and I went to a show. I was like, Sammy, can you help? Can you write me a letter? He's like, I've never heard you play. I was like, I swear I'm good, man. I just need to go to this drum camp, and you're the
really
man.
do
You're my
know how
favorite
to
drummer.
ask people for
Yeah,
things.
Yeah.
Oh my
He's
God.
been getting himself plugged in forever.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
My name rhymes with beats, dude. I'm
Yeah,
legit.
Can't be bad.
But yeah, definitely a full circle moment for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, it's just cool. We talked about the Biscuits a lot on this pod. We are influenced by them, and to just, again, be associated with them and feel as if, I've said this. It's interesting to have your favorite band in some way, like, helping your career a little bit as a musician, which is really cool to be, associated with them in some capacity here, where the Biscuits fans seem to really like Rado, and we're really honored that they do like us, because Biscuits fans are challenging to win over in a way. It's because they are. I think it was the Unts that did that one post about sports fandom associated across jam banding, and the Disco Biscuits got the NHL, and it's low key the best, and the fans are the most passionate about it.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
that's so true to
Just want to fight in the middle of
to get a little bit of that love from them in some regard really feels really special to me,
Right,
man.
because it is a challenging fan base. You're right. The expectations are high. All of these fans have seen hundreds of shows. That's not.
Yeah.
There's no casual concert goers when it comes to fans of bands like these. So you're right. There is a certain standard that needs to be met, but also when you meet that standard, there's a level of respect there where it's just
and it just is, again, just so full circle.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of
thrilled
our first
about it.
interactions
Was about the tourists.
Was about
Yeah,
tourists,
because we've
exactly.
covered it, and there's we are very we also you walk that line of not wanting to over saturate we are not
wanna-
the disc we are different than the Disco Biscuits.
Our Instagram handle is Rado Shreds.
Yeah, we
Thought about changing that a few times.
we are different though, for sure. So you want to be careful on that, on walking that line.
Certainly.
But it's a little, to me, it's different than your standard, all right, we're covering a Grateful Dead song, or we're covering a Fish song or something. It's a low, that is kind of a little more niche in the jam band community, I think. So you connect with people that way, where you're like, oh, dude, you like the Biscuits.
Also,
Fuck
if Dogs in a Pile can just be named after a Grateful Dead song and then go on to be very individualized,
yeah, I guess it's
our
all
Instagram
over.
handle can be
All
Rado
bets are
Shreds.
off.
All
All
right.
bets are off.
Right. I'm pretty sure everybody who first heard Dogs in the Pile was like, this is a Dead cover band, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
Nope.
Well, sick, guys. Yeah, that'll be so sick, dude. Buena Vista too. I think it's on a Wednesday too, so it's everybody who's going to be there is going to be specifically there, down for the cause. Right?
Yeah.
We
It's-
start at 10 as well.
Okay.
So no excuse to
No
not be
excuse,
there
and
if
I
you
think
have
it's gonna be,
Biscuits.
dude. It's gonna be
Yeah,
packed.
it's working in our favor that the Disco Biscuits have they have to end early in the night because
Yeah.
of noise ordinances out there. So
It's outside.
hopefully there's a lot of people that are still
Yeah.
needing to scratch a bit more of an itch.
I don't know anything about that venue. It's at the Surf Hotel. I know the spot you guys are playing at, which is a cool bar. I've been there.
You know about
once
the
or twice.
surf a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we're playing at the Larry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Surf
Yeah.
Hotel has a great kind of
Little-
commons right out front
Yeah,
where they'll throw their
seen
stages
weddings
right off the
there.
side of the river. It's just beautiful.
Beautiful,
and
man.
just want to shout out either the owner or the guy that was booking at the Surf
Eddie.
Hotel helped us set up the gig at the Lariat. So that's very
Sick.
Yeah, he literally opened up the door for that.
Very,
He's like,
very
hey,
nice
we're
of
doing this
them, so-
biscuit show. We want to maybe have Rado inside. And
Support the Surf Hotel.
he could not.
And the
We
Lariat.
couldn't figure out how to do it just from like their PA and the whole sound system being outside. So he reached out to them, the Lariat specifically, for us to do this.
Wow.
We just got to figure out how do we guide the wooks.
We need to go set like a glow stick path, literally.
Yeah.
From
Well, I'm serious. If we can print some flyers, I will get everybody at that show to be like,
Let's go.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've
so
been training all
we
summer.
can talk offline about that,
Yeah.
but let's make it happen, dude.
I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a big
Fuck
show,
yeah, dude.
big opportunity, man.
Biscuits fans don't want they're gonna.
It's
wanna
10
keep
p.m.
going. They
What
want
are
to
we
keep
fucking
going,
doing,
dude.
dude?
We'll get a trail of flat brims and nitrous
Yeah,
tan.
dude, exactly. There you go. Get a nitrous tank, dude.
Yeah, we just someone runs 20 feet ahead and just goes.
Yeah. And then you move it 20 feet down. You move it 20 feet down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that is
fucking
gonna be
funny.
so fun.
That's great.
And
man.
hopefully we can catch the first set or something, maybe.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
biscuit
was
show,
wondering
we'll
about
see.
that. If
We'll
we
see
should
what's
try to
up.
snag takes or
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's just about it. We're trying to put together some stuff in October. We're playing Goosetown Station again in October. We're playing this event called the Coffin Races in Manitou Springs. Big event. Super stoked on that.
Yep, that's gonna be sick.
And yeah, we want to do all the things. We want to get in the studio. I'm itching to get back in the studio. I want to get some more studio material out there, especially with Deitz. And so, yeah, the fall and winter are going to be ripe for some exciting Rado updates.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Well, it's good to be back here. This is, again, we've been gone for a couple months now, but it's good to be back with you boys. And I think we're going to try to pump more of these out and kind of get back to some of the formulas we've done that worked and pump in some new content as well and just keep this thing fresh and rolling. So,
Yeah.
it's
RADCast.
RADCast.
We're coming back, folks.
Dude.
We had a little time off, and
Yeah.
we're excited to be just updating people again about what's going on with the band on kind of a more monthly-ish basis that we can.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, dudes. Appreciate
Let's go.
it.
Yeah, great hang, guys.
Good to see you
All
guys.
right.
Thank you
All right.
again,
All
guys.
right.
Later, dudes.
Yeah.